Alright, so start. Okay. So yeah, this meeting is going to be just about startup initiation, how to start your startup. And before I start, I just want to tell you a bit about myself and why you should listen to me at all. I've worked on my own startup last year. Some of you might know about it. It was called Globalization Facilitator. And although that wasn't awfully successful, or at least as successful as we envisioned, I learned tremendously from the process. So I encourage any of you, all of you, to make a startup of your own. It's very, very beneficial to start at this time, and it's very beneficial to fail at this time, because you're still being fed and have shelter and stuff, so you don't need to worry about money. But yeah, my biggest advice to you is just start now. So if you want to do anything like this in the future, and also I currently am also working at a startup. It's called SportsBiz, and it's basically the result of chief level engineers from likes of Honeywell, Disney. I think that's our CTO, and no, not our CFO is from Honeywell. But anyways, uh, these guys came together and decided to revolutionize sports marketing. And like to give you context, my direct boss is a graduate from MIT. So these guys are no joke, all of them. And my connections are your connections. So uh, if you guys need anything, I mean, if you guys need these connections, I can hook you up. Right. So with that out of the way, let's just get into it. So the first point is to start with a problem and not a solution. This is a big mistake that many people make while starting their startups, is that they start with solutions. So they make these cool products or something, um, but there's no clear problem that's being addressed. And this is a problem because when you're making a startup, it's not about how cool the idea is, it's about how many people actually buy it and use it, right? So if there's no problem, then your solution is useless. I mean, it's not useless, it's good for like pleasure, for your own pleasure, but it's not going to be a startup, right? Um, Second point is this is the number one biggest mistake that people make, uh, is don't wait for an amazing idea, you know? Um, Google, Google is very, very popular search engine, but it was like the 20th something search engine. So it wasn't the first. Similarly, Facebook, right? 20th social media platform. So you don't have to be the first. You don't have to have some novel idea in order to make it big, you know? You can tag on to an existing trend. Yeah, so and just start. What the heck does it matter, right? But you also have to carefully evaluate the idea. And especially this is the case if it's novel. So if you have some new interesting idea, you want to evaluate very, very carefully. You want to think about why no one has ever done it. And if it is truly novel, a reason why no one's ever done it is because it's just recently been made possible by new technologies or something. So that might be a case where a new novel idea might actually be a successful one. But you really want to evaluate your ideas carefully. Um, yeah. And then finally, you want to build connections. As I kind of alluded to at the beginning, um, you guys have a great network of connections at the school. You know, I have a bunch of connections, as do the other board members of startups, and we can really help you uh, get the connections you want. And connections, as I experienced personally, are super important. Like, for example, at SportsBiz, I'm currently working, our first, it's not something like novel or revolutionary. I mean, it's revolutionary, but it's not. There's many other data science, sports marketing businesses out there, right? It's a common thing. But the reason why we are have had the success that we've had For example, our first major client was Wells Fargo. Like if you look at, you search up Wells Fargo sponsorship, sports sponsorship, you'll see that, it's in the works. That's us. That's what we're doing. Sports sponsorship for Wells Fargo. So that's our current project. But then we also have other companies, including Procter and Gamble, who are lining up to, try our sports marketing platform. So yeah, that's what Connections gives you. And also at the academy, we have all of our previous students who are also very um, successful people, and Mr. Masad can connect you up, or we can also help connect you with these people who will only be happy to help you guys in your own startups. So yeah, that's just you're very fortunate to have that. So yeah, that's it. That concludes the presentation. And yeah.